this is going to be probably my final thing on Trump, probably. But I wanted to go here with you. So Donald Trump is not going to pardon Assange. It didn't happen. We all thought it likely wouldn't, but we all did everything we could to try. I feel like people did as much as they could to try to, make that happen. And it did not. And here's who he did pardon. First of all, we know he pardoned a bunch of war criminals. He did that. Here's a list of some of the people he pardoned. Now look at all this stuff. We're going to just skim this a little bit. Financial crimes, firearm violation. Let's see, lending crimes, laundering. By the way, yeah, he pardoned Steve Bannon. And here's one I just want to highlight quick. Paul Erickson, a conservative operative with ties to the NRA, came under scrutiny during the investigation into Russian election interference. He pleaded guilty to wire fraud and money laundering in an unrelated case. Now, what this says, because I know some people, they try to make excuses for Trump, like, oh, well, if Trump, he can't pardon Assange because of all the Russiagate hysteria and all the Russia hysteria. If he does that, it'll look suspicious, so he just can't do that. No. He clearly doesn't give a shit about that. He just pardoned somebody that was also tied into all that hysteria. So he has no excuse whatsoever. He has no excuse for not pardoning Assange.
It's, Jimmy went on Tucker Carlson and basically convinced Tucker Carlson in real time why Trump should do this. And then Tucker said, wow, more journalists should be talking about this, which just shows you how complicit the corporate media is to the, illegal incarceration of Julian Assange. And, when I was watching the video he put out yesterday, and he was like, one of the most important parts of America is freedom and freedom of speech. And I was like, is this how he's going to stick it to him? Because he got kicked off of Twitter. I was like, it sounded, and to me, and maybe I was being overly optimistic because I really wanted Assange, as we all do, to be pardoned. And then he didn't. And then they released the White House, and Julian's mom tweeted out that her son was not, which was just kind of heartbreaking. I mean, yeah, there's everything. It's all there for Trump to do this. And even if I was hoping his narcissistic pettiness would actually break in Julian's favor, and he'd be, I'm going to just stick it to the deep state and whatever, and the Democrats. I know the Clintons hate Assange, so I'm going to pardon him. I was like, I don't care what his reasons are. Right. I just want a publisher to be out of jail, because jailing a publisher, if Julian's in jail, then round up everybody at the New York Times and the Washington Post, and like
the Guardian,
get them all. Then if that's how you're going to do this, so or everyone needs to be free, and so does Edward Snowden,
right?
And Chelsea Manning. So like, it's always, it just shows, this notion that Trump was an outsider it's also his pardon list shows how much he's not an outsider.
Right.
Because
financial crimes, like war crimes. Yeah.
Anyone that protects and is part of the ruling class, or at least works to protect them, or profits from their wars and their banking, they get a free pass. Leonard Peltier? No. Julian Assange? No. Like, come on. It's preposterous. So this notion, Trump is he's definitely part of the ruling class. He always has been. He was born into it. He's just a loud, obnoxious guy that makes the racist country club look bad. You know what I mean? Like he's Rodney Dangerfield in Caddyshack is who he is. Basically, he just shows up. Hey, Wang, it's a parking lot. And he's rude and crass. At a country club that, doesn't allow Jews and blacks to join it. You know what I mean? So, or Catholics, so that's who Trump was. And, this pardoning war criminals, because that's the other thing, Joe Biden, oh, he's putting us in the Paris Accord and he's banning, he's reversing the Muslim ban. What's going to happen with the military budget?
Right.
What's going to happen with all the countries we're bombing? What's going to happen with the sanctions on these countries like Venezuela and Iran that don't want to give us their oil? We're going to keep, I mean, don't be surprised if within the year we're in a ground war with Iran. Don't be surprised. And then what?
Dude, during the inauguration, I saw they had Leon Panetta on, who was a former defense guy, Democrat, by the way. And within a 1-minute segment, he beat the drums for war against Iran, against North Korea.
Yep.
He beat the drums for the Cold War with Russia and with China. And then he talked about how he beat the drums for a civil war here at home.
Jesus.
In like a minute segment, just talking about it like it's nothing. And it's like, oh, this is the change. This is
the whole, this is the new, this is the resistance.
What you got to look forward to.
Yeah. Believe me, it's going to be more Obama, Clinton era, Wall Street war. But, we're going to have all of these, like all of his cabinet appointments, the corporate media, including people like Amy Goodman at Democracy Now!, are going to be fawning all over all this. It's the first woman this, it's the first person of color for that. Okay, great. But they won't go deep onto where the person's history is. Mm-hmm. Like it should be reversed. It should be this person, like the defense secretary, that guy, he's on Raytheon's board of directors. This is a clear conflict of interest. Oh, by the way, he'll be the first black man in this position. But the conflict of interest is the bigger point. So the corporate media and even the fake progressive media is going to be screaming, oh, yay, look at how diverse it is. But they're not going to go like look into Avril Haines, like all these people that are just have these horrific war, oil lobby. I mean, like money, like it's just on down the line, big banking. I mean, like they want to try to, regulate and control Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies. Like it's just the same old nonsense, but it'll have a rainbow flag on it. So everyone on the dummy liberals will go, yay, look at all the change. Now women and people of color can bomb us and steal our money and torture people and oh, yay. Like, so,
well, and just to tie it back to the story, what kind of outlet does expose those kind of things you talked about, the conflicts of interest, the histories, places like WikiLeaks.
Yeah.
And Julian Assange is still in prison. And, it's just unbelievable. I mean, it's hard to just sit through today and feel anything other than just complete disgust at the entire situation. Even though it's like, yeah, I'm happy Trump's gone, sure, but this is still our system. The ugliness of our system that makes a Trump a possibility in the first place, that's still here.
I will take to my grave that it's the Democrats' fault we had Trump.
Me too. Yeah, no objection here.
It's so this notion that these idiots think that like racism just appeared 4 years ago, like corruption just appeared 4 years ago. I mean, it's just like, it is maddening to me, and it's like, and to watch the media talk about, well, Trump whipped up his base with this election fraud nonsense. Who was screaming Russia hacked our elections for the last 4 years? You were CNN, you were MSNBC, you were ABC. Like, I don't want to hear it, man. They screamed Russia, 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 which just helped plant the seeds of our elections are fake. So when Trump lost and said, oh, Joe Biden hacked the election or whatever, the corporate media is complicit in all of this. They're complicit in giving Trump a platform. Les Moonves said he was good for ratings. We all talked about how they cut away from a Bernie speech in 2016 to go to an empty Trump podium. I mean, did you hear what Trump said today? That's good ratings. That's good clicks. And the media knew that. They helped create this insanity.
We'll still get a little more of that. I mean, that doesn't end today. Right. Today. I mean, that's still going to be, they're still going to like milk all that for as much as they can. Like Trump's playing golf right now, and here's his thought on something.
Yeah.
But,
get your news on with Ron. Don't you want to know what's going on? We're getting our news on today. Get your news on with Ron. Don't you want to know what's going on? today. You can tweet me an article at Ron Placone. We'll go through it together and make it our own. Get your news